Thank you for visiting our hotel. We look forward to welcoming you again. Seeing guests off at the front door, I smiled and waved back at the children who waved at me. I am Millie, 30 years old. I am the young proprietress of an inn. This is my family's inn. It is located in a famous hot spring resort in Colorado. Thankfully, we are famous as a high-class inn in this area. Many people use this inn. My husband is Thomas, 33 years old. He was originally a sales representative for a travel agency, but when they included our inn in their tour, I made contact with him as a liaison, and that was the beginning of our relationship. We married after 2 years of dating. After our marriage, I quit my job and started working as the executive director of our inn. My parents are still alive and well. My mother is in charge of the inn as the grand landlady, and my father is involved in the management as the president. My husband's parents are also still alive. My father-in-law retired 3 years ago and now works occasionally as a contractor. My mother-in-law is 60 years old this year and has been a housewife. She is an active person and has many friends, and she enjoys spending time with them at women's club and on trips. However, my husband says that my mother-in-law is a spendthrift. Whenever she wanted something, she would buy it without any regard, and my father-in-law would get angry with her. For a while after we got married, the inn's business was doing well and was stable. But then a global pandemic broke out, and our inn was affected, as was the rest of the world. However, at my husband's suggestion, we decided to offer a one-day hot spring tour with meals, only for residents of our state, at a very reasonable price. We were able to attract many guests from nearby areas, and somehow we managed to survive. Recently, things have finally settled down. I'm a little relieved to see that we are now receiving visitors from outside the states as well. I have been living like this for a while now, but there is something that is causing me a bit of headache. It is my husband's mother. My mother-in-law visits us twice or thrice a month in order to see my husband. My father-in-law rarely comes because he says it is too much trouble for him. That in itself is not a problem, but it takes 2 hours from Arizona by plane to our state, and about an hour by local train to get to our home. So it is a little difficult to make a day trip. Therefore, whenever she comes here, naturally she stays overnight. However, my mother-in-law wants to stay at the inn instead of our house. My mother-in-law says, "It must be very difficult to prepare for cooking and accommodation, so I think it would be easier to stay at the inn, where everything is already prepared for you, right? And I can enjoy the large hot spring bath. If we let her stay at our inn, we will have fewer rooms for our guests, which can affect our sales. Also, we can't afford to charge too much for a cheap room, so we have to prepare rooms with a certain level of prestige. Our inn is one of the larger ones in the area, so the most expensive rooms start at $500 per person per night. As you can imagine, my mother-in-law would not be able to stay in one of those rooms. But we will still prepare a medium or higher class room. Of course, we will prepare the food, so the actual cost will be about $300. But we can't charge any money for this. There's one more problem. My mother-in-law says that she is like a hotel insider, and it's checking the inn with a third party's eyes. I want to say, don't do anything unnecessary. But she is my husband's mother, and I can't ignore her. The way we greet and pick up the guests, the customer service at the front desk, the bath and facilities within the inn, and such. She points out and complains about everything. Well, to put it simply, she is a complainer, isn't she? The employees have gotten used to seeing her face. So, Miss Millie, when is the person coming again? They would ask me. She says she is a hotel insider, but she doesn't produce any particular material. She would call me up on her way out and just do nothing but complain. For her point of view, she probably thinks she is giving me advice to improve the quality of the inn. Well, it all just seems like a mother-in-law bullying her daughter-in-law. The ground landlady, my mom, also says she is not doing it out of malice, so just listen to what you need to know and let the rest slide. And my father, the president of the company too, if she likes our inn in Hot Springs, that's a good thing, isn't it? Just thinks lightly of it. I had never thought that I would have a hard time with my mother-in-law, even though I was staying with my parents. I told my husband about this several times, but I can't just tell her not to come. And isn't it good that she's thinking of us and trying to do her best? He said in a nonchalant tone. One day, I received a call on my phone. It was my mother-in-law. I had a bad feeling about this, but I could not answer it. Hello, it's Millie. Oh, Millie? It's Amanda. It's been a while. Oh, yes, it's been a while. How can I help you today? Oh dear, it's been a long time. So shouldn't you say, how are you, or how are things? Or something like that. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that's alright. So, I have a little favor to ask you. Yes, what is it? A friend of mine from hometown here said that she wants to go to a hot spring. So she was wondering if there was a good place to go. You guys have a good hot spring at your place, and the food is delicious too. So I told everyone about it. Oh, thank you very much. I thought she did something unnecessary again. It's a peak season, so I'm quite busy. I don't have time to worry about my mother-in-law. So they all agreed with me. We are going on a holiday there next month. So, could you save a room for us? Next month? That's a little difficult. But how many people are there? 6, including myself. All women, of course. Then we will split into 2 or 3 rooms. Is that correct? No. My mother-in-law strongly reproached me. They are my friends. So, make sure they have the VIP room. 1 room. 1 room, please. The VIP room has a living room, 2 bedrooms, and 2 Japanese-style rooms. It is possible to accommodate 6 people if you insist. But 2 of you will have to sleep on mattress. No. The mattresses that in are hard. Please add 2 more beds. That's impossible. You can't put more beds in that room. No, they're my dear friends, so you should give them the best hospitality. I am inviting them all. So if you mess up, you will embarrass me. Do you understand? She invited all of them? Does that mean I have to give it away for free? That's impossible. That's the deal for the room. And then there's the food. You have to prepare the best food. You understand? Then, take care of it. Oh, yeah. Tell my son to pick me up at the station. The call ended, and I sighed. What the hell was she thinking? I had no choice, but I go ahead with what I was told. And then, I discussed this difficult issue of my mother-in-law coming to the inn for a group trip. and that she is insisting that everything be made free of charge, with my husband, who is the managing director. My husband replied, "That's too much. My mother has never worked, so she probably doesn't know how hard it is to make money. I'll talk to my father about it, so let me take care of it." I was anxious, but I decided to trust my husband's words that he would think of something. On the day of the event, my husband went to the station to pick up his mother's group as promised. Soon after, the car came back to drop them off. So I greeted her as she got out of the car. "Welcome." "Oh, Millie, thank you for your hospitality. These are good friends of mine from the local women's association. Take care of us, okay?" They are a group of refined grandmothers. I showed them to the room I had prepared for them. It is a VIP room in this inn and is located in the top floor. It has 2 bedrooms and 2 Japanese-style rooms. It also has a living room and an open-air bath. However, as soon as they entered the room, they immediately complained. "There is a person with a bad leg, and they don't even have a wheelchair. What a bad service!" "I am sorry. I will prepare it for you now. And I want you to prepare some fancier snacks with our tea." "Yes, I'm sorry. I'll bring you some better sweets." The others tried to calm her down, but my mother-in-law kept pointing out this and that. I had no choice but to instruct the waitress in charge of the room to comply with my mother-in-law's request. The group went to a hot spring. I was summoned there too, and I was warned that the wash basin in a changing room was dirty. This is just my impression, but I thought she was just trying to look good in front of our friends. She seemed to act stricter than usual to show them how cool she is. Then it was time for dinner. I took the role of the waitress and served some high-quality dishes to the room, as she had wanted. And the food seems to be generally well received. My mother-in-law, however, was not pleased. "The steamed egg custard is too loose and hard to eat." Or, "The tempura butter is too hot." Or, "The next dish was brought out too soon." And such. Still making complaints here and there. Moreover, "You think I'm an old person, so you are serving less portions?" And demanding for more food. My mother-in-law would say, "This is my daughter-in-law's parents' house, and I let her pay for everything, so don't hesitate to order, okay?" And stir everyone up. She would then ask for additional dishes such as crab, abalone, and other high-end dishes. She added some fine wines for the drinks. To tell the truth, it turned out to be quite a lot of money. Everyone was so daring, and it was hard to believe that they were old people. They ate almost all of the dinner without leaving any leftovers. And since they wanted to take a long soak in the hot spring afterwards, they asked to reserve a private bath for themselves. When I told them that was impossible, they replied, "What kind of proprietress doesn't respond to the needs of her guests?" Something like that. I consulted with my mom, the grand landlady, and she suggested that we could have it reserved to tomorrow morning. When I told this to my mother-in-law, she somehow agreed. After that, they had a massage, ordered some midnight snacks, and a bottle of wine. They are such energetic old ladies. And when it was time to sleep, we brought a bed to their room as they requested. Since it was impossible to carry a big bed, we prepared a smaller bed. But we received a complaint about this as well. "I can't sleep on this bed." She seemed to be very angry. When we were at a loss as to what to do, someone else said it was good enough, and the situation was somehow settled. The stormy day was over, and I was finally released. I told the waitress who helped out that I appreciated her hard work. And because I thought that I put her through more hardship than usual, I gave her a special allowance. I went back to my house, but I was already exhausted. I finished preparing for tomorrow, and it was already past midnight when I went to bed. The next day, they reserved a large public bathhouse and enjoyed a morning bath. It was supposed to be time for cleaning, but we asked the person in charge to change the time. One person's selfishness caused so much inconvenience to many people. Then, my husband said he was going to pick up someone and drove to the station. The breakfast was served without any complaints, and was finished without incident. Well, I was told that the tea was too lukewarm, or the soup was too salty. After finishing the morning service, I returned to the front desk and prepared to check out the guests. At the time, I found out that the total amount of my mother-in-law's group was over $5,000. Soon after, the group appeared. I returned the key to the front desk, stopped my mother-in-law who was leaving, and asked her to settle the bill. Please, pay the bill. The total amount is $5,000. Do you want to pay in cash or by credit card? Then my mother-in-law said, What? You want to take money from your husband's mother? Are you kidding me? You also take money from your relatives? How very greedy! We are a business, and our services are well worth the money. Besides, with such a large amount of money, we'll be put in a tough situation if we don't request your payment. My mother-in-law's face turned red. It's a treat for your mother-in-law, so you shouldn't take any money, right? Whenever you come to my house, do I ask you to give me money? Isn't that the same thing? What a lame excuse. No, that's a difficult story. This time, you told us that you are traveling with a group that will be staying at our inn. This is a different business than a social gathering of relatives, so we would appreciate it if you could pay us properly. What a shock! You have no manners, even though you are my son's wife. It's fine if it's me, but it's rude to my friends, right? At that moment, during an argument between my mother-in-law and me, someone whom I recognized interrupted us. What are you arguing about? Yes, I'm sorry to have troubled you. I bowed my head and apologized. Then I raised my head. What? My father-in-law? He said. Hey, it's been a while. Actually, my son asked me to come here on the first train in the morning. I'm kinda starving. I hope we can have breakfast here later. It was the unexpected arrival of my father-in-law. It's been a while. I will arrange breakfast for you as soon as I can. No. I have to take care of something first. That's why I'm here. My father-in-law came here because my husband asked for help. Then he turned to my mother-in-law. Oh, you! Why are you here? Oh, I came to check on my son and you. Is something weird? She said. No, nothing is weird, but I have a few questions. What is it? You've been arguing for a while now. What's going on? No, it's nothing, isn't it, Millie? I thought it was a good opportunity to tell him everything honestly. Actually, your wife's group has been using her service since yesterday, but she didn't want to make any payment. So I had to explain to her that it was impossible. Really? And how much would that be? Yes. So she requested the use of our VIP room, ordered a variety of additional services, including massage and such. So the total cost came to about $5,000. I see. And she wanted you to give it to them for free? Yes, that's right. When my father-in-law finished listening to what had happened, he asked my mother-in-law,
"Is what Millie says correct?"
"Yes." My mother-in-law was tight-lipped.
"My son told me, but I heard from Thomas that you always don't pay the bill when you come here. Is that true?"
She said, "Oh, yes." "About that? Well, I was a hotel insider, and I gave her a lot of guidance. So in return, I made her give me stuff free of charge." At this point, my father-in-law's expression changed.
"Enough is enough. I already know everything."
"Yes?" My mother-in-law's face stiffened and turned blue.
"You said you were going to see your son, but I heard that you've been taking advantage of this inn, and you would be bullying your daughter-in-law in various ways. Isn't that right?"
"I am sorry. I got a little carried away."
"Do you know that every time you were overcharging for this inn, our son was paying it for you?"
"What?"
"I had a talk with him. He told me that you were always causing trouble for using the inn for free."
"I am sorry."
"And then this trip. Thomas told me because he was worried that you were using the inn for free again. I couldn't leave it at that, so I came here. As I thought, you were causing trouble for Millie and her parents."
"Yes,
I am sorry. I have been concerned about your extravagant spending habits for some time now. Your attitude towards Millie is unforgivable. That's why I made up my mind."
"Is that?"
If you want to see your son so badly, why don't you work here as a waitress for a while? Just until you pay back all your bills."
"Oh no. Even if you tell me that all of a sudden."
"No, you don't understand how hard it is to work and earn money. How many services have you received at this inn so far? You wanted them to give it to you for free. You don't understand how hard it is to work and how important it is to make money. Anyone who doesn't understand that should try it for themselves."
With that words, my father-in-law asked my mom let my mother-in-law work at the inn.
"I am sorry for the trouble I have caused you. Would you please train her for a while? And please deduct the amount of the bill from her pay," he said. "Son, use your mother well."
My husband nodded and said to me,
"I should have been the one to tell my mother strongly from the beginning. I am sorry for the trouble I caused your family."
He bowed his head. "No, it's okay. What about your mother, for that matter?" "Well, yeah. I'll have her clean the room first. I don't think she can handle customer service, so she'll be a trainee for a while." The next day, my mother-in-law started working as a waitress. The things she needed were sent by my father-in-law from their house. At first, my mother-in-law suffered from sore muscles from the unfamiliar hard work. She probably never thought she would have to clean the inn she had evaluated. In the meantime, she was able to handle the guests, and she took care of what she had complained about earlier. As she went about her various tasks, I think she gradually came to understand a little more how selfish she had been. My mother-in-law has become very calm, and she no longer mistreated me like she used to. I thought it was a little rough at first, but it seems to have been a good medicine for her. My father-in-law's plan was a great success. My job is hard, but when I see the smiles on the customers' faces, I feel happy and my fatigue is lifted. From here on, I hope to continue to see the smiles and hear their words of gratitude, so I will continue to do my best.